If you are in the market for a new full-size SUV, I'm talking body-on-frame SUV to go camping, go boating, go on a long road trip with the family, this is the video for you. Hey, it's Tim, Pickup Truck Plus SUV Talk. Over the past couple of years, I've got to experience all of them at my house for a week or at events or driving different states. I've got to see them. I get to experience them. I can tell you how they drive, what I like about them. And in this video, I'm going to share the details with you. I've made a story on pickuptrucktalk.com. I want to put a link in the description. I'll try to pin one on the top of the comments so you can get to the story easily because I got specs galore. It took me a while to get the story together, so I hope you enjoy it. I'm working on it for about a week. This is a lot of details in this. So it's on pickuptrucktalk.com. It's on the front of the page. Probably won't be there for very long. Publish a lot of stuff these days. So as you scroll down the story, I have a GMC Yukon on top, and I have a lot of different photos and things. So let's do a few caveats. I'm going to talk about the models I've experienced the last couple of years. So Tahoe, Yukon, Expedition. I just got done driving that in Kentucky. Sequoia, Nissan Armada. I'm not going to talk about the luxury models. No Lincoln Navigator, Infiniti QX80, Jeep Grand Wagoneer, Cadillac Escalade. I'm going to put those off maybe for another video. I'm not going to talk about the Suburban, Yukon XL, Expedition Max. Those are basically just longer versions of the Tahoes or the Yukon XLs. You can kind of figure out what those are like. I'm also not going to talk about some of the nitty-gritty details, really getting it in the weeds. I'm trying to do like a high-level thing. WordPress, the software I use, tells me this is a 19-minute read. I'm trying to make the video 19 minutes. I tend to go long. I'm going to try to get to the point, but this could be a long video. So maybe sit back, pop top, pour a cup of coffee, whatever you got to do. Put something in your coffee because this could be a long video. But let's talk about Tahoe, Yukon, Expedition, Wagoneer, Nissan Armada, Toyota Sequoia. So what we got going on is I have photos of all of them. You can go through the galleries. You can see what they look like. You can click through different things, and you can see how they look. And then when you're done with that, you can go down and you'll see the highlights. I talk about what powertrains are available, what the horsepower and torque are. We talk about transmissions they are, what the towing capacity is. I have what the fuel economy is and the gasoline version. So the 6.2 liter V8 is recommended to be used with premium fuel versus the 5.3 liter V8 is regular gasoline. You can see differences there. I have fuel tank capacity. We have the diesel in there as well. We have standard features. I have available technologies. I always talk about off-road models. Off-road models are a new thing in this segment. Last couple of years, every brand, except for Jeep Wagoneer, basically has come out with a new off-road model. This is not like you're going to climb over boulders and things. This is more of, you have a little more ride height. You have a little more ability to go on the trails a little bit more. The idea is you take some snowmobiles like up north of Michigan, or you go out west to Arizona someplace. You can haul in a camper to an off-road camping site. This is the idea behind this. The more approach angles, the more skid plates. There are options for additional air ride suspension and things to give you even more ground clearance, locking differential, that kind of stuff. Technology, most vehicles these days are coming with LG Wi-Fi hotspots. In the case of Chevrolet, you have some Google built-in, wireless Apple CarPlay. And by the way, these specs may change as I flush more things out. I got the details I could find for you today. I'm getting more details every day. So again, I'll put a link in the description, link in the comments. If you see something incorrect, comment below. I will update this. I'm human. I am human. Interior seating, we have up to 8 passengers. I did find that available massage seats are in the high country trim. As I've gotten older and I've had some health issues, I'm a big fan of massaging seats. You can get second row captain's chairs and bench seats for the Tahoe as well. We have convenience factors. I consider these like things like the power sliding center console comes back, so you can add some second row seat as far as options for cup holders, second row passengers. I tend to always forget this feature in the Tahoe because it's a button that's above by the mirror. So I put it in there for my own sake. There are some upgrades there as well. We talk about trims. Talk about pricing, $59,000 to $81,700. I am kind of surprised if you look at the Suburban in the high country trim Suburban, you get to touch about 6 figures. So my quick take on this is the upgrades in the Tahoe are really worth it for 2025 model year. I truly believe this because we have, I think, really upgrades in that better seating, I think the seating is much better in 2025 model year. There are people that like the seating in Chevrolet vehicles. I don't particularly like it myself. I think the seating's been rock hard for last generation. The seating now is much more comfortable. I also think that the 3-liter Duramax is the home run for GM. The 5.3-liter V8 has had a moment in the last couple of years of lifter issues. 6.2-liter V8 has had a moment where we have a big recall. I like the Duramax. I like the fuel economy in that. And I think the 17.7-inch infotainment screen, which we can go up to the photos and look at that real fast, is a nice feature. It is going to be right here. You can see how that kind of goes diagonal like this. I think it's nice. I think it blends in well with the center stack. It's not obtrusive that stands over top of it, and it's nice because you can see the backup camera is a lot easier. And for families are getting more tech savvy. I know there's an old generation of customers out there that don't want technology, don't want any of this stuff. I can tell you with kids and families and such, connecting your phones, CarPlay. We do a lot of podcasts and road trips with my family, and so it's nice to have that built in wirelessly, have the wireless chargers. We do use a lot of technology in my family, and it is just a nice finish there on the interior there of this Tahoe. So I do like those features. Moving on to the GMC Yukon, I believe it's next. Yeah, it's Yukon. So this is the Yukon. Let's pull up one of these pictures. There's your here's your Yukon exterior. Much like the Chevy Tahoe, the big thing to know about GMC Yukon is GMC is now positioned itself as being more their premium brand. So it looks more upscale in the marketplace versus the Chevy Tahoe. It definitely feels that way inside the cabin. I definitely get that feeling when I'm inside of it. And so let's talk about what is new for the 2025 Yukon. Again, the similar changes with the Tahoe, better seats, that kind of deal. So we have the same powertrain options. They have the Duramax. You have the 5.3-liter, 6.2-liter. We have the 10-speed transmission. There have been some complaints 10-speed transmission as well. I've had a lot of good luck with the 10 speeds I've had and I've owned, and friends I've known have the GMC and the Chevy have good luck with 10 speed. I have heard some comments though. So I have heard some people talk about 10 speeds. I hear it more with Ford than I do GM, but I have heard more of that lately. We talked about gas tank capacity, have that as well. We have the Yukon. I put the Yukon XL in there for, I guess, kicks and giggles. Again, I'm updating this as it goes. This is almost 4,000 word document. Super Cruise is a great feature. It's great for really long road trips. They've made some improvements to this as well. It does work as far as change lanes for you, and it's a great semi-autonomous driving feature. It takes a little bit of trust factor for long road trips, but once you get used to it, I'm telling you, your driver fatigue getting to your destination is a lot less. AT4 Ultimate is a new one. So they have a Denali Ultimate trim, and AT4 Ultimate is like a really luxurious version of an off-road trim. These are just really high dollar trim levels that may not appeal to you or may appeal to you. Really great features in these, really good looks, really luxury materials inside, and they're just freaking nice. I've driven a couple of these, and it's like, wow, who knew growing up, when I was growing up, this was even an option. That blows my mind behind these. So I break out what the features are for different of these trim levels. Night vision is my favorite thing ever. We have a lot of rabbits out here. I pull out my old Looney Tunes thing and I go, I'm going to go hunt rabbits. I'll hunt rabbits at night around here with the night visions. It's just a fun thing. I know I'm a kid at heart. I get it, but having fun with the night vision. If we talk about displays is the biggest difference here I see between the Tahoe and the Yukon. And let me explain what this is. So we look at this. And this is available 5G. I see my mistake. I need to update the Tahoe. Tahoe's got 5G as well. I thought I updated that. It maybe didn't take, but let me see if this photo does it. Yeah, so this is the big change. So the Yukon has the vertical display versus the Tahoe had that horizontal display that blended the dash. I've used both. I don't know that I'm partial to either one. I guess I do like the vertical display better just because it just seems like it's easier for me to reach over my hand and push the buttons, and I think about more about it. I think I actually wrote I liked it better in the article as well. Again, a week of working on this article. So it just seems like it's easier for my hand to reach over and find stuff. On the Chevy Tahoe, you kind of have to reach up a little bit to get the things, to push button for touchscreen. So I guess I like this better as far as keep my eyes on the road, if that makes sense. I can see people having really strong opinions either way. I think you'll read in the comments, people can have really strong opinions, whether they like this big iPad looking screen or not. I hear that comment quite a bit. People love technology, hate technology. I get it. But that's your big difference there is the screens inside. They've kind of made it so they're trying to make it kind of so there's some differences between the Tahoe and Yukon. As growing up in Michigan and Indiana, Wisconsin, like I did, usually it was just a GMC was rebadged Chevrolet. I mean, that was what I had growing up. And now they're really trying to make these brands different. And this is one of the ways they're trying to do it, having a really different interior, different exterior, different trim levels and things. And I applaud them for it. Make things look different. I'm all about it. So that's a big change. So you maybe have some preferences there. They'll lead you one way or the other. So that's your difference there. I said, yeah. So I said that Yukon has more premium feel to the interior, has a higher price point than Chevy Tahoe, without going into Cadillac territory. Okay, and so you have that bigger screen. That vertical screen could be a deal breaker for some people. Could be an issue. Okay, next on our list is the Ford Expedition. It's seen many big changes this year. I'm just going to open some of the pictures up, get to it before we get to more details. It's got this split screen, so the dash is now moved up higher. I will tell you that when I first saw it, I was like, yeah, ew, I don't know if I like this. And then after driving around, I was like, it's kind of naturally in your eyesight. And either you're going to be one of those people that's going to say, I hate it, or you're going to say, why haven't we been doing this all along? Like, it just makes a lot of sense to have the dash not down to look down at it, but in your direct eyesight. It's almost like you don't need a heads up display because it is in your heads up as you're driving. So it's really interesting. New Google built in with the infotainment system as far as the radio screen down below. And so much better than the sync systems years past. I like that. So it is interesting. I don't like the dial shifter. I will just put that out there. Steering wheel is unique. They threw a lot of stuff at me. It's just one of those things that we have the new fold down. The third row seat back there folds down. You can send like a big kayak through there, or like paddles for a kayak through there. So a lot of unique things in this. We have a new trimmer package, and then I want to say it's one of these photos here. I have this new split tailgate that can show that it's open. If I have one of these photos, I'm just kind of scrolling through. They have the white black setup on. This is the Max, but a white black setup. So it is a very interesting, different design. Oh, here we go. This is the new fancy split tailgate. You can put like a tailgating party back there. You can put stuff up on top. It's a very interesting design on this new Expedition. So back to the story, we have different two engine choices, both V6s, both the twin turbo EcoBoosts, both regular gasoline. We have a high output version that's going to be on the Tremor, which is their off-road version. We have rear-wheel drive and four-wheel drive, both paired to the 10-speed automatic transmission. It's just interesting. On the truck side, I'm hearing a lot of people having complaints with this, but the 10-speed is used like throughout Ford's lineup in a variety of vehicles, and it's a learning transmission. And what I'm hearing from customers is it's a hard shifting from like 5, 4, 3, 2. My wife's Ranger has the same issue on a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 shifting. It doesn't happen all the time. It just happens occasionally. You can turn off learning transmission part of that. It seems like it fixes that. It doesn't sound like it's too much of a hardware issue. It's just a software issue. So I'm assuming Ford can figure this out. It doesn't sound like it's rocket science to get this figured out. It just sounds like it's just a weird thing. It's a really odd thing. So, and I've also talked to people that have no problems. So I don't know. One of those things. One of the things I really liked about it was the towing capacity is 9,600 pounds, but you can go up to 7,000 pounds without a weight distributing hitch. Now, you may have to do some convincing at the RV dealership to let you do this, because I just bought a camper, and trust me, those folks are pretty old school in this kind of stuff. But you don't need the bars over 7,000 pounds. According to Ford, they've been able to change the rear frame, way the rear frame is built to have better stability in the wind. I really want to test this out. Like, I can't wait to get Ford Expedition. I have a 30-foot camper. Get a windy day, I'll be really curious to see how this holds up, because it really got my attention. Because if you've ever hooked up a camper with the weight distributing bars, it's a little bit of a pain. It's not that terrible. It's one additional step, and I'm really curious to see how that actually works. I have fuel economy numbers, gas tank sizes. We have Blue Cruise, the hands-free kind of driving. It's not as good as GM, but they do offer it. Ford Copilot, they have additional features. We talked about displays, talked about connectivity. There we go with the connectivity. Off-road model, 33-inch tires, that kind of stuff. Seating, talked about that. Cargo space. Noteworthy items, I talked about the flex-powered console. What I like with that, it's the same idea as GM offers with the sliding console. Ford has a little bin, though, they can store stuff in. I want to say GM does as well. But what I like about Fords, let me be very clear, is on this kind of console, it's got a button that says slide here, and it says push button forward, push button back. There's no up above you. It's a KISS system. Keep it simple, stupid. For me, you just push the button forward, push button back. Simple. And then I talked about the cargo tailgate management system. We have the trims, we have the price points. Okay. So our take, I think they've done a lot of big changes to SUV. It's more competitive. I'd like to see more engine choices. I'd like to see them do more with this, but I think it's great that they're getting out there doing, made a big change. It's big evolution change for them. Jeep Wagoneer. It's interesting. The Wagoneer doesn't get that much in the conversation, and I'm surprised because I mean I think look, it's a good looking vehicle. I mean it looks good. I drove this in New York City. Feels like 3 or 4 years ago. It's got the new Hurricane engine. People have making a lot of conversations about the new Hurricane engine in the Ram trucks. This is the first time it's ever been used. Brand new engine. Well, it's been in the Wagoneer for a while now. People are like, well, it's never been in a truck before. Never done any truck stuff. Well, it's been towing different things. I mean, people have used it for towing operations. I don't know. It seems like it's held up pretty good. We've had some issues with catalytic converters melting down. Some issues. People have thrown a fit over some plastic issues in the engine. Okay, but I've driven it now on my RHO I bought for the year for the channel, and it's a fantastic engine. I love straight inline sixes. So I think it looks great. I think the interior. I don't know if I have an interior photo here. We'll see if I scroll through real fast. But I think it's a good looking vehicle. So I was a little surprised when I started going through the numbers on this. Do I have an interior? Oh, I have an interior. There's an interior. I think Stellantis, which is the parent company here, builds some really nice looking interiors. Uconnect system's really good. Yeah, so I think it's pretty competitive. You guys will let me know in the comments. What do you guys think? But yeah, I'm looking at the stuff, and we have the Hurricane inline six, 420 horsepower, 468 pound-feet of torque. Pretty good power output, comparable to everything else in the market. 8-speed automatic transmission. I hear no complaints there. That's a ZF transmission. ZF is well known throughout the world as building some really competitive and reliable transmissions. We also have rear wheel drive and 4-wheel drive configurations. Tows up to 10,000 pounds. I'm not sure I'd do that. We have fuel economy is pretty decent. Gas tank size is one of the biggest that I saw. We have standard features, available technology. We don't have a level 2 autonomous driving. I didn't see in this. The RHO I have has something. It's not very good, and they don't really have a name for it. So I didn't really talk too much about that. We have a smaller infotainment screen. Okay, that's fine. There's some optional passenger interactive display. It's junk. I don't use it. I wouldn't talk much about that. Wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. Rear seat entertainment is optional. Okay. Seating up to 8. Optional second row captain's chairs. Third row bench seats. Pricing $62,000. Higher trims reaching 80, so it's competitively priced. Here's what I thought was weird: is that I'm a bit puzzled by the poor sales. It was down 59% in Q1, from 54,000 that they sold last year to 54,000 this year. Last year they sold 13,000, so they really took a big drop in this year over year. That I'm puzzled. There must be a recall I missed. Must be a stop sale I missed, something, because I would think this is a pretty competitive offering from Jeep. I mean, I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong, but I thought that was a very competitive offering. I'm surprised it didn't have better sales. So the Jeep Wagoneer, yep, is a very good offering there. So then moving on to the last item on the list is the Nissan Armada. The Armada is a brand new vehicle this year. I got a lot of comments, people saying, man, this Armada is really good. You know, people were, when I drove it, they're like, how's it compared to Tahoe? How's it compared to the Yukon? And it's a very smooth driving vehicle. I had the AT4, and it's a really good look. They did away with the V8. People didn't complain too much about the loss of V8. The V8 was a little sluggish in this vehicle, I thought. The 3.5 turbo, I think it's 3.5 turbo, is much quicker, much more responsive, and I thought it was much more fun to drive. Passing was a lot better. Pass speed's a lot better. And people are really excited about this Armada. I think it's a really good look for them. I think the designers did a really good job going through this. I think it's a really beautiful interior. So the best seats as far as seat comfort on the market. So I thought it was a really good offering for them. And so looking at the lighting and looking at the interior and some of the interior material qualities, yeah, I think this is a very beautiful SUV. Okay. So looking at the different features, we have the 3.5 twin turbo V6, 425 horsepower, 516 pound-feet of torque. That's a lot more than the outgoing V8. Paired to 9-speed automatic transmission, standard towing is 8,500 pounds. We have the two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive. Pro 4X is four-wheel drive only. Gas tank 23.6. We have some standard features, Pro Pilot Assist. I've had love-hate with the Pro Pilot Assist. I keep trying to turn it off all the way. I don't love that feature so much as I do other brands and like GM's systems and things. So it takes a little me used to that system. It's where they combine adaptive cruise control with steering assistance, and I don't know. It's still quirky to me. But we have a trailer blind spot monitoring system. I love that as well with some displays. We have the off-road model, the Pro 4X model for a little more off-road capability. We can seat up to 8. We have the available, I said, the quilted leather, optional massaging chairs in the front, with cargo space, the trims, starting price. So pricing is very competitive from Nissan. So my quick take is Nissan's redesign was really well done. Much stronger competitor than it has been in year past. Yes, the V8 is gone. Yes, it's more complex with the twin turbo V6. Yes, people have concerns about reliability with the twin turbos, but I just find it more pleasurable to drive myself. And I appreciate those who still want the V8. I totally get that. Okay. So I think they've done a good job. So then we have the Sequoia. This has been redone in 2022 and it carries on for the 25 model year. Here's what we have. There's what it looks like. Okay. And I want to say I have some more photos here. Oh, I guess this is not opening right because it's a little bit different of a setup here. So, I guess I scrolled up, but yeah, that is the Sequoia. This is from Jill put it up here from her when she was there from an event. So this is that is the interior of the Sequoia, and this is click on this photo. A little bit hard for me to navigate this one, but this is the bugaboo with them is that they did a kind of a flex setup for the storage back there. A little bit what Ford had done with the Expedition, where they had some shelving that was set up for some cargo management. You have different tiers as far as shelving. So that's what they have going on there. Okay. And so that got people loved it or hated it. Okay. And so when looking at the Sequoia, we have the Force Max hybrid setup, 3.4-liter twin turbo V6, 437 horsepower, 583 pound-feet of torque, a lot of torque with that hybrid, up 10-speed automatic transmission, rear drive, full drive, towing capacity 9,500 pounds. We see the fuel economy, and we have the gas tank size 22.5, and then we have the safety sense 3.0. We have additional features like blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, panoramic view monitor. We have the 14-inch multimedia display. We have the Wi-Fi connectivity, multiple ports. We do have a TRD Pro model. The TRD Pro model is like the creme de la creme lineup, has lots of off-road capability. You haven't tried crawl control, multi-train select, downhill assist control. Great features off-road. Amazing off-road capability. That's what Toyota is really known for. Reliability, off-road capability. There's two things going on. They've had a little bugaboo last couple of years, reliability with the non-hybrid version of the engine for this. So keep that in mind. Off-road suspension is great. They have the front stabilized bar. They have some changes for the exterior for TRD Pro. The seating capacity, I find the seats pretty good as far as comfort. Pricing, the TRD Pro and the capstone trim can get fairly high in pricing. That's true. SR5 limited, a little bit better pricing point. I still think Toyota is a little bit higher than some of the other competitors on a price by price basis, but that's been just my experience. What you get for the value, bang for your buck. Okay. There was a lot of problems that came out. The controversial rear storage got a lot of people apprehensive about it. And then lo and behold, the Expedition comes out with something similar. So I don't know if that holds water as much anymore, being controversial. And then you have the things that haven't quite lived up. People didn't quite flock to the new design, I think, as much as they wanted. I think people are a little hesitant what's going on with Toyota overall because the Tundra didn't quite make the big splash people thought it was going to. And the Tundra and the Sequoia are so, tightly connected together. So I don't know. It seems like Sequoia, I like Sequoia better than I like the Tundra right now. I like the way the styling worked out. I like the way the grill worked out, but it didn't seem like it took off as much as I think Toyota wanted it to take off. So after all this stuff, after near 3,000 words of specs, takes what all it boils down to. If I had my choice, what would I buy? Well, I would buy the GMC Yukon with a diesel. I know GM's had some issues at the moment, and people are going to blow me up in the comments on this, but I love the Duramax diesel. 30 miles per gallon in my Silverado as a half-ton truck. When you have a family, fuel economy is a big issue for me. Skipping the gas station, not putting the fuel in, getting the better fuel economy is a big deal. Looking at the price, at the difference fuel economy versus the gas. I'm going to go back to the top of the story here. Let's just look at the differences between the diesel versus the gas version of the Yukon. So if I go all the way to the top and I go, yeah, if I just look at this, full drive, I'm looking at 26 versus the gas is 19 highway. That's 7 miles per gallon. I will tell you though that this number is not fictitious. I can get 26 all day long with the diesel. This number is a little suspect to me. I'll get 18, 19, 17, 18, 19. This one, it was easy for me to get this one. Easy in the Silverado I had. So, and 26, 19 to 26, that's a big difference. That's a big jump. I know people are going to say, well, fuel costs are more expensive. That's more expensive. I get all that. But passing gas stations is a big deal for me. Less stops means less potty breaks, means less, hey, dad, buy me this. Hey, dad, buy me that. Hey, dad, buy me this. That's really cuts down on costs. And towing was a dream with that 3-liter Duramax. I just thought it was a great feature. I thought it was great getting in the truck and having long range, having miles of range, skipping gas during stations during the week, going more days without stopping for gas stations was a big deal to me. I didn't mind paying a little bit more for oil changes. Never bothered me. So I thought it was a good option. I think the seats are much better. I just felt that was a choice for me. I liked their Armada. I liked what they did there. I like the Jeep Wagoneer. I'm surprised I haven't spent more time in it. When that came out, it was like fine. The Stellantis PR team was like, finally, we have a full size SUV. Finally, we have something we can show off. And then I haven't had a press loan of a Wagoneer now, which is a 7-day loan to test it out in years. So it just fell off their radar, which they've had some management changes over there, leadership changes. So I can see their direction of companies like doing this right now. So I'm surprised it's not being more of a factor because there's a lot of money to be made in full size SUVs. People talk about trucks as far as profit margins. Well, SUVs, full size SUVs are profit margins as well. So I think that's a great idea. The Ford Expedition, I think it's great. I think customers are going to love it. I want more powertrain choices. I want more from that vehicle. I think they can do a little bit more to make that even more competitive. So I don't think it's a wrong choice either way. I think there's a lot in the full size SUV market right now. And like I said, I was really surprised when I looked back on the stuff and I saw how much things have changed last couple of years and how much things have improved. And I kind of was like, wow, things have really changed. Things have really refreshed and become redone in the past 3 years. And I hadn't really noticed. And that's kind of crazy because I'm in this business every day. But what would you choose? What stood out to you? Did anything surprised you? Did I make a mistake? Please comment down below. I will do my best to fix the website article. Well, if I did in the video, I can't really fix videos, but I'll do my best to address it. So yeah, I just was curious what you guys' thoughts are. Was one you'd avoid, one you'd buy? Is there pro and con to either one? There's a lot to unpack there. A lot of interesting new features. A lot of things are trying to get you to switch. We call these switcheroo things. Like, is the split tailgate from the Ford Expedition, is that a switcheroo? If you're a Tahoe buyer, is it going to cause you to switcheroo to the Expedition because that's a feature you have to have? That's an interesting thought. More interesting thoughts, other videos up over here. Again, the website down below, pickuptrucktalk.com. As always, thanks for watching. I will see you down the road.